What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm the man in the know, J&O, and welcome to Blanks and Double Game Weeks, the series where I will continuously go over the up and coming fixtures near the end of this season to hopefully help you navigate the Blanks and Double Game Weeks and maximise your points to beat your friends in your mini leagues and get you up those FPL rankings. So if you like the idea of this video, please hit the like button and feel free in the comments down below to ask me your questions about the Blanks and Double Game Weeks, and let's get into the video. So we are starting this series off early because we can start to see some things that are confirmed and some things that are likely to happen as far as Blanks and Double Game Weeks moving into the late part of this season. So we'll start off with a screen where we will put the likely schedule of how things are going to happen, and this will be updated as soon as I hear any other news in videos in this series that will continue until these Blanks and Double Game Weeks have finished. So right now we have Game Week 27 going to be a blank because of the Carabao Cup final. That is most likely going to be Man City versus either Chelsea or Tottenham Hotspurs. Man City, of course, winning 9-0 against Burton. Very unlikely that they are going to not reach the final of the Carabao Cup. And then Tottenham are winning 1-0 against Chelsea. But as we have seen, Dele Alli likely to have picked up an injury that may mean that they don't have a lot of their players for the second leg against Chelsea. Then in Game Week 31, we have a blank game week where the FA Cup quarter-finals will be played. In Game Week 32, we most likely have the double game weeks from fixtures that have been postponed before that. We then in Game Week 33 have another blank game week where we play the FA Cup semi-finals, to be then followed most likely in Game Week 35 by a double game week. Now this isn't all set in stone. For example, there are rumours that Game Week 25 could be a double game week for Man City, but a lot of this depends on how other games play out. But of course we will cover as much as possible, and then as soon as anything changes we will cover that as well in this series. So we'll start off with the Game Week 27 blank, and right now it's confirmed that Everton and Man City will not happen in Game Week 27. I say confirmed. There is a very small possibility that this doesn't happen, but it's extremely slim. And then it's possibly either Burnley versus Tottenham and then Chelsea versus Brighton that could also blank in this game week. Now for me, that means there's only really 3 teams there which you have to worry about the kind of players that may not be playing, and it's likely you should be able to cover this fixture with your current teams by just benching some of the players you own. Now if we take my team by example, we have Leroy Sané in the side, we don't have any Spurs players, and we don't have any Chelsea players. So for me, Leroy Sané would just have to be benched for that game week, and that would pretty much be me set with still a squad of 14. So Game Week 27 isn't really an issue for me. The only way I can really see it being an issue is if you've doubled up on Man City midfield, then you've only got 3 playing midfielders. And then also if you have 4 or 5 players from these sides, then that may be an issue that you want to address. But it should be able to be something you can address from Game Week 25 onwards potentially, because you only need 2 or 3 transfers, because you do of course have the positions on your bench where you can utilise them and not get rid of a player that could do well for you afterwards. So with Game Week 27 not really being that much of an issue, Game Week 31 to 34 confirmed fixtures, as those are the other 2 game weeks with blanks in. In Game Week 31 we have the confirmed fixture of Fulham versus Liverpool. In Game Week 33 we have the confirmed fixture of Huddersfield versus Leicester and Southampton versus Liverpool. That means Liverpool do not have a blank game week this game week. So their players will be very important leading up to the blank game weeks, but maybe not necessarily the best players to own during double game weeks. Now don't get fooled into thinking you have to have every single one of your players be a double game week player in the double game weeks. There have been players that have only had 1 game in a double game week and still scored significantly high enough to be effective in that double game week. But you won't want to go into the double game weeks with triple Liverpool in your side, but potentially you will want to go into one of these blank game weeks with as many Liverpool players as possible, because there's usually a blank game week where there are a lot of teams not playing in the Premier League and then they have their fixtures rescheduled to a later date. So Liverpool are a side you can rely on to be playing in every game week. And then out the other sides, Leicester and Southampton potentially have some players that could be useful for you in those blank game weeks as well. We've quickly covered double game week 25 because it's a possibility, and the way Pep has spoken in press conferences, it looks like this could happen. So basically, once the Carabao Cup final has been decided, there's the chance that game week 25 could be a double game week for Manchester City and potentially the other side in the final. Now, Manchester City, of course, we are assuming are going through into that final. If they have a double game week in game week 25, they will have Arsenal and Everton in that double game week. And that also means Everton will have a double game week against Wolves and Man City. And then if Chelsea go through, they will have a double game week against Huddersfield and Brighton Hove Albion. Those are two good looking fixtures. It's just a shame Chelsea do not look like a side unified at the moment. And then Brighton have Watford and Chelsea. Now if Tottenham advance into the EFL Cup, it's possible there's a double game week 25. It could be moved back to a double game week 26, which I think is a bit more likely. It's just the fact that there isn't much time for Spurs fans to arrange themselves for an away fixture to be brought in so quickly. If it's a double game week 26, which is where I think they might put it if they try and do it before the blank game week, it could be Leicester versus Burnley, which would be a very tasty fixture and potentially one, I'm not sure, I'll have to look into it, that Son could be back for. We'll have to see what's happening with Dele Alli's injury as well. And then double game week 36 or 37 is also a possibility for Spurs, depending on how they are doing in the Champions League, of course. They could have West Ham or Bournemouth in that double game week alongside the tie with Burnley. However, that is all speculation at the moment. It has happened before where that fixture has got brought earlier than it was originally scheduled for, but we have to wait and see until we have a confirmed Carabao Cup final to really know the answer to that question. And then also we will look at the sides that right now are unlikely to blank in game week 31. Now, of course, there could be upsets in the FA Cup, but right now it looks like Burnley versus Leicester, Bournemouth versus Newcastle, Watford versus Southampton, and Brighton versus Cardiff are unlikely to be blank in game week 31. Leicester are already out of the FA Cup with Burnley facing Man City, so Burnley-Leicester looks likely to happen in game week 31. Bournemouth versus Newcastle, Bournemouth are out, Newcastle face Watford. So again, one of these fixtures with then Watford versus Southampton is going to be in game week 31. Southampton, of course, out, Watford against Newcastle. So that fixture will decide which one of those ties happens in game week 31. Then Brighton versus Cardiff. Cardiff are out. Brighton do face West Brom. Now those are really the only fixtures where I can see the results happening in a way which means these fixtures will happen. The other fixtures seem to be so in the favour of one way or the other that the other fixtures in this game week will be blanking for that game week. So for me right now, the teams that I feel like are going to be useful moving forward into game week 31 are going to be Leicester City, Bournemouth, and of course Liverpool. Now the potential of Newcastle, Watford could be very, very good for us. So one of those sides could have some players for us in that game week 31. And then just so you guys know what my plan is for this period of fixtures, I'm going to try and mould my team for game week 31, use my free hit in double game week 32, and then the team I built for game week 31 will hopefully be capable of covering game week 33. Then I'll wildcard in game week 34 so I can bench boost in game week 35. And then the captaincy armband will probably come in either a blank game week where I feel like there is a captain that is worth picking, or it will come in a double game week, potentially earlier than this set of fixtures or potentially closer to the end of the season. We'll have to see on the fixture list. But I'm not set on using my triple captain on a double game week. I would prefer to do it with a player with two good fixtures, but I'm not sure I can see that necessarily happening right now. So we will see what happens as more of the fixtures become clear. But right now I know when I want to use my free hit, when I want to use my wild card, and when I want to use my bench boost. So hopefully guys, that has helped you guys out with trying to figure out this tough set of fixtures to utilise your players for the highest possible points in the Fantasy Premier League. If it has helped you out, please hit that like button. And if you want to watch this series or my other series on the channel, please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out Patreon, where I do original content for my Patreons on topics that they want covered, as well as other videos as well on any topics I feel need to be covered for them. And we also have a Discord in it as well, where you can just speak to me and ask your questions there as well, which I will answer as soon as I possibly can. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.